Hello, hello, hello. All praises to the Most High. Happy Sabbath day again to each and every last one of you. We have been having a wonderful morning, consulting with Spirit, consulting with the Most High, the ancestors, the ascended masters. We just thank each and every last one of you in spirit, what you have done and are continuing to do for your peoples. So we're going to get on into this message here. We want to talk about marriage, okay? Last night, the Most High and we was consulting, and he just brought some very interesting information to my attention. Before we get into the actual reading, I just would like to share my perspective of what we was kind of talking about. Now, my battery is a little low on the phone, so I'm going to have to keep swapping out my charger here until I can get through this message, all right? So we know that marriage is talked about in the Bible, right? And so it says in the Bible, marriage is presented as a sacred covenant between one man and one woman, okay, established by God and intended to be lifelong. All right. So when we get into marriage, it's intended to be lifelong. Okay, meaning that just as the vows say, to death do us part. Right. Okay. So it's not just a social contract, but a deeply spiritual union, okay, that reflects God's plan for what? Love and partnership. Okay, so that's what is more so the meaning. That's the reason why most people get into marriages. All right, that's it's just a covenant, okay, between a woman and a man. Y'all, my hand is over this, but give me just a second. Like I say, I'm trying to download videos on my other camera, and at the same time, I'm trying to do this video right here. So every now and then, you're gonna probably see my hand come over. So don't let that cause you guys any fear, okay? Because this is an off-camera message. All right, and so we're talking about this marriage, okay? So let's go through some of this here. It says the key aspect of marriage in the Bible. It says God created marriage, okay, as a foundation for human relationship. Okay, it says with the first marriage between who? Adam and Eve. Now, it says the first marriage between Adam and Eve, right? Now, we're going to talk about this a little bit because, see, when Adam and Eve was in the garden, okay, they pretty much formed their union before him, right? So we know it wasn't no type of contract when it came to paper form when Adam and Eve came into union together, okay? Now that I do feel is accurate, okay? Because one thing about the Most High have a problem with third parties, okay? And whether or not, if a lot of people know today, when they go to the courthouse, get the paperwork, and the marriage papers and the marriage license, you're really only putting your covenant into a third party, which is no different than the serpent, okay, that came to, the Bible say the serpent came to Eve, but Spirit tell me the serpent came to Adam. So either way it go, it was a third party in the midst of that union, right? It's the same way with the marriage license, with the marriage certificates, all that type of mess. You're putting a third party in the midst of your union, okay? Whether or not, if you know it or not. Because, see, the covenant is supposed to be made between who? You and the Most High. I don't, even though your Bible say God, I don't like utilizing God. I like to say the Most High. So moving forward, I'm going to be utilizing the Most High. Okay? Now, so you're putting a third party in the midst of your union already, meaning that you already are coming out of alignment by putting a third party in the midst of your marriage. Okay? Now, it says here a covenant relationship. It says marriage is described as a covenant, a commitment to each other and to who? God. Again, the Most High. Okay, because I'm reading from here. It says lasting until death. Okay, so it really is supposed to be just you, the husband, the wife, and the Most High. Okay, it's not supposed to be the wife, the husband, the Most High, okay, and the state. Okay, because see, now you putting something else in the midst of your marriage with that paperwork, whether or not if people want to honor that or not. Okay, you're putting somebody else in the midst of your relationship. Okay, so and then we going to go on down. It talks about the one flesh. Okay, now this here is where I really kind of disagree with what's being said here. It says the Bible emphasizes the marriage unites a man and a woman as one flesh. Okay, a man and a woman as one flesh, indicating a deep, intimate, and exclusive bond. Right? So I disagree with this passage because either way it go, whether or not you come into a union or not, I feel that you still only gonna be as one in your individual sense, okay? Because I don't care how you do the math, okay? You can't take two and turn two into one, okay? You really can't do that, because if you take two and turn it into one, you already separated. Okay, because see, one thing about us as individual, we already carry what? A masculine and a feminine energy within us. Okay, we have a masculine and a feminine side. It really supposed to already be 50-50 among your own body. Okay, so but to say you're bringing two together as one, now that right there, me and Spirit in this, we disagreed on that, okay? Because of the simple fact reason, the way the Father was showing me this last night is that by bringing two as to one, it's like you're already kind of putting like a stagnation already over your union. All right. So we're gonna go a little bit further though. That we're gonna find out and see what Spirit really saying there, because me and Spirit, Spirit didn't. We didn't get to that, because you can't put two together and make it one. Okay. All right, because you put two together, it's gonna be four. All right, when you think about it. Okay, he even took me back to the disciples when it says that Christ had the disciples go out two by two. All right, and for a long time we took it as just being just that, two peoples, right? But when you think about the reading, it says two by two. So it seems like he's saying it's going to be 2 times 2. All right. That's going to make 4. Okay. Meaning that by sending at least 4 individuals out, not 2, but 4. 4 is going to put it on a better foundation. Okay. Because when you think about a table, if you have a table with 4 legs, legs on it, that table is going to be pretty solid, pretty steady, right? If you put a table there and you got 2 legs on that table is not going to be as steady as the table would be if it was 4 legs on that table, right? Okay, so just by going back now to the unions, it seemed like, okay, if you are joining 2 individuals and trying to make 2 individuals as one, it seems now it going outside of the universal law. Meaning that now if you're trying to put a male and a female as one, okay, now you're trying to say that that's probably why a lot of people, when you think on spiritual term, okay, people don't realize that not only do they have a masculine side within them, even if they are a feminine or a woman, okay, that woman still carry a masculine side as well as a feminine side. Vice versa with the males, okay? A man, he'll still have a feminine side as well as his masculine side, okay? Because see, we operate in a duality vessel, okay? And if you are trying to convert 2 duality vessels and put 2 peoples into one, okay, it's like now you're trying to say that what? That's how the duality is supposed to come in? Because that's a contradiction if you ask me. And I don't care. You can go to any math arithmetic. Okay, 2 can't go into 1. Because if you go put 2 into 1, it's going to leave 1. Meaning like your marriage is already over. Even before it begins. If you look at it in that term. Because now you got 1. You don't have 2. So that really kind of make me feel like marriages to a certain degree was already kind of in a curse, all right, even before marriage really got started. And really it was because of the simple fact reason with the third party, with the serpent coming in the midst of the union between Adam and Eve. Okay, I hope y'all see what I'm saying here. Okay, and we know that people believe in putting a lot of things on paperwork, okay? But see, a lot of people have been smart to the point that they don't go and add that paperwork in the midst of their marriage. And some of the people that live in these common law marriages are some of the most long-lasting relationships that you really can kind of see, okay? All right, when you kind of really think about it, okay? Because they're not putting in that extra additional, okay, third individual in the midst of their union, okay? So, me personally, I don't think paper have anything to do with marriage. Paper more so has a lot to do with conflict. Okay, because see now you don't serve years of your life with this individual, and now here go you got to have a third party to come in the midst of your union because y'all want to divide, y'all want to separate now. Okay, see, and already, if you really think about it, I already feel like the marriage already could have been cursed to a certain extent because now instead of you wanting to have 2 in a relationship or a union, y'all trying to convert the 2 into 1. Okay, 1 is already left out even before you begin your marriage. Okay, all right. So we're talking about marriage. And then with divorce, it says while the Bible permit divorce in specific circumstances, such as unfaithfulness or abuse, is generally discourage it and emphasize the importance of reconciliation. Okay, now some people it's okay to reconcile with your mate, but you have to give that some type of bearer there as well, I would say. Okay, all right. The Most High don't want nobody to continue to be in a marriage okay, or be with someone and you continue to be abused on the daily, okay? All right. Now, if the Most High put it in your spirit to leave, you need to listen to your intuition and leave. Because if you really look at it, when it done went to that certain extent, very seldom do those individuals actually change. Usually the change is only temporary, and then the abuse come back, okay, or the cheating come back, or the lies, the manipulation, all those things, the same things you done already dwell in, is all coming back again. All right. I could say you give them one or two chances, but after that, you're going to have to learn how to trust your own intuition, okay? One thing people really have to realize, okay, even me being a person who loved to elevate, uplift, and encourage others, I can't change anyone. Number one, you can't change nobody, and you can't heal or fix anyone. Okay, if that individual don't want to change and heal and become a better person for themselves, women's especially need to stop thinking that just because you giving a man sex, you giving a man love, okay, you constantly getting abused, that you gonna help that person. If that man don't want no help, okay, or that woman don't want that help and don't want to change and be better and show you love and compassion, okay, you're gonna have to really learn your own self-worth. Okay, if you ain't learned your own self-worth, okay, then you just gonna end up having to potentially face the consequences that you done left yourself to dwell in. And a lot of times in today's life, a lot of those women's or men's, okay, they end up being killed, murdered, okay? It's just like that. Because for one, you should have been more open-minded, okay, and really see this thing, okay? Because see, we can't change nobody. I don't care how good you think your body is, but if a person gonna continue to hit you, harm you, make you feel less than, okay, and you thinking that you're gonna be the healer of the world for this individual, and this person don't want to heal themselves, so be it. You're going to have to live with the consequences. And not only you have to live with the consequences, you dead and gone, but you leaving a family back here mourning and suffering over you, over something that could have easily been avoided. Okay? Yeah, we know that a lot of times women be abused to the point that even if you go out and put a restraining order, they still harass you. They still do a lot of manipulative things against you, okay? They come, they interfere when you try to move on with your life. But those are also some of the times where I can say myself, okay, I can't just up and leave, because a lot of times you don't have that finance to leave, up and leave, okay? You always feel like you got to look over your shoulder, okay? Now, that's why I kind of would fault the justice system, okay? Because, see, the justice system is supposed to be here, okay, to help people in those type of circumstances, okay? But they want to just give you a piece of paper. Okay, and I think that with all the polices that many states have, okay, I don't think it's not going to harm or interfere with that Justice Department to give these people a little bit more assistance, okay? If it's no more than them riding by the house every other hour, okay, just to make sure, or to have these people phone number so that they can reach out and call them to check in on them. Okay, that's a confirmation. It need to be better programs, okay, to help these individuals, because a piece of paper is not going to work. It's not going to help. It is not, and they should know that that system is is not effective for peoples, okay? So I'm going to leave that there. All right. So like I said, we're going to talk about marriage now. I think I kind of went over enough of that already. So we're gonna go into now, and well, first I'm gonna take a pause, and then I'm gonna come right back with the actual reading. Okay, so we're finna get into this reading. We're gonna start out. I think we're gonna start out with this deck right here. So, Father, we want to talk a little bit more about marriage. I think we did this reading kind of like this once before. But the main thing we really want to focus on, we want to more so focus on what it's talking about when it says to become one. All right. That's going to be our focus area, Spirit, because last night when we was talking, it's like you disagreed with that. So what would you like to share when the Bible talks about to become one? Okay, let's talk about it. All right. To become one. Okay, the first card we got out, it talks about pleasure. Okay, the second card to come out was opposition. The third card to come out was bounty. And then finally we got forgiveness. Now we're talking about marriage. All right. And my main focus area was about the two become one. Because I said there's no way two can really become one, no matter how you try to do the math about it. Okay? Because it is, when you look at it, okay, you're really gonna become, because when the two becomes together, you're gonna be just that. If anything, you'll be four. Okay, you won't be two, to a certain degree, on a spiritual sense, right? Because like we said, we got masculine and femininity within us, right? Already, right? And then you got a man and a woman, right? So that right there, in a sense, really kind of make it like it's six on it. Well, let me leave it alone. Okay. So first one we got here is pleasure. Okay. We're going to see how all this here kind of line in. Okay. Let's go with the pleasure first. Card number 40. Pleasure. Okay. Pleasure talks about fulfillment, abundance, satisfaction, contentment. Okay. And then you got opposition. We got opposition. Opposition talks about concession, fairness, democracy, neutrality. Okay. And then we got bounty. Talks about upgrade, benefits, gifts, discovery. And then finally, you got forgiveness. Talks about judgment, severity, self-lofting, and poverty. Okay? So let's look at one. Now, and the time is 12:22. All right? That speaks volume. because you got 1 and you got 2, 2, 2. All right. I said it'll be 6, right? So, okay, with the 2, 2, 2, there you go. And then the 1, that's supposed to be the one you all supposed to join. Okay, look at my father being funny. Most High, Lucifer. You see Most High tripping on you, man. So, now we want to talk about 1 in the Bible. So we see what cards we have. Okay. Now, it says in the Bible, 1 has several meanings, including referring to specific times, such as 1 day, highlighting a singular or unique thing, 1 son, and emphasizing unity, okay, 1 church, all right? So, even that a contradiction, because when you think of unity, okay, it's not 1, okay. To be in union, you still got to be 2 or more. See, that right there is also a contradiction, okay. All right. It says it can also represent divine perfection, okay, primacy and sovereignty, okay, particularly in the context of it's a God the Father. All right. So and then we go on down, even with the Trinity, trying to utilize that as 1. That's a contradictory. Okay. It says Christ often interpreted 1 as symbolizing the first person of the most holy Trinity, God the Father. Okay. All right. Because they always say what? The Father, the Son, and the Spirit. Okay. So again, another contradictory. Okay. Because that's 3 in 1. Okay. It can't work like that. Okay. All right. You can be in alignment, but you can't just say that it's 1. You can't do that. All right. And I already told you, what did I say? It's like, if you look at it in that term, it's like you already leaving 1 out. It's like it's already cursed. Look at these words: pleasure, opposition, bounty. But then the last word say forgiveness. It's like you already done put like a shield, a curse or something over a marriage even before. If you look at it in that perspective, okay, the marriage is already ruined before you even probably propose to somebody, if you look at it in that sense. So me, myself, I wouldn't even recommend nobody utilizing that term. Let what the Most High join together. Now that's good. Let no man tear it apart, because you're coming together as 2. But if anybody was to speak over me saying that the 2 shall be joined as 1, no, I would denounce that. Because there's no way 2 can be joined and become 1. No, I would denounce that, because it's like now you kind of putting another standard above your union. Okay, the 2 of you can join together under the Most High. Okay, but just really think and really just see the picture of where I'm coming from with that. Okay, because it's no way. And me and my father, we was in agreement with that as well. I wouldn't even be speaking about it or talking about it if my father himself didn't have a problem with that. Okay, because see, even from the guys, okay, why should forgiveness even be out here? If it was a such thing, huh? All right. Why would bounty be out here? Okay. If it was really, why opposition would be out, why pleasure would be out here, why these type words would be utilized for a union that's supposed to be so sacred. Okay. So let's get on into the reading now. So we're talking about marriage, and we're talking about joining together to become one. All right. So Spirit, we have some overalls. We just went over the words. We didn't get into it very deep. So now I just want to really look at this from your perspective. How you feel about the marriage, okay? When it says that two shall become one. Okay, first card we have here a Queen of Wands. Now, Queen of Wands, that's kind of like a leader. Okay, that could be somebody that's very determined, creative. That's the feminine. That's the woman side. Okay, all right. Somebody that's focused. All right. Now, this Queen of Wands could be a representation of something. Okay, who knows? Queen of Wands could be in my energy. That's why she got in her feelings, because apparently she don't like me talking about a marriage. Okay, all right. So I'm just being honest from what I just had, what had experienced. All right, this person could just be in my energy. Okay, so I'm about sick and tired of her being the first card to come out in a lot of my readings. Okay, because she needs to really go on and find herself a resting place. Okay, now let's get a clarifier, Spirit, because I get so sick of this. Why does Queen of Wands coming out in of all peoples when I'm talking about a marriage, and I'm also talking about how you feel, Most High, about two becoming one? We got a Nine of Wands. Okay, that talks about that could talk about Spirit say, just pick this mess up. Father, I denounce Archangel Michael. Please take care of any distractions, please. Any distractions, okay? Any distractions that coming in my readings. I ask Archangel Michael to please intercede at this time. Ancestors, please cover this reading, please, from all distractions. All monitoring spirits shall flee. Sorry about the disruption, you guys. Okay. Now, back to you, Most High. We're talking about two joining as one. All right, we have the Chariot coming out right there. Now, this Chariot, that could talk about, when you really look at the Chariot, it's amazing this Chariot come out here. Because, see, when you think about the Chariot, you know, most in tarot, you have the Chariot card. You already have, like, the two animals, right, pulling the Chariot. And you always will have an individual there, right? Okay. Now, when you just look at this card right here, okay, don't it look like you put somebody else over your marriage? Because that really like a prime example right there. What are we talking about? It says two shall become one. So y'all see how that look? Y'all really, can you see how this really look now? Because that's what that verse is really saying. So who's taking over the identity of the marriage? Because it looked like that's really what's happened, right? Because you see, if you put the two, okay, just right here, I think those like two cheetahs. You got two cheetahs joined together, right? And the two shall become one. Look at that, a whole nother individual, right? Okay. Thank you, Spirit. Because, I mean, that's what that's really saying now. I mean, come on now. All right. What else? I told you, Lucifer, Most High got jokes on you today, man. With your scenario, with your book. All right. We got the page one. There go the messenger. Okay. Give us some good news. Good news. Good news. Okay. Being a free spirit self. All right. So that's what we're really seeing right there with that. Okay. All righty. So what else you like to share here about this here spirit? Spirit think this is a joke. My Most High laughing at me, y'all, because I'm talking about, me and my father talked about this last night. It didn't make no sense. Okay. Then we got the Ace of Wands. That talks about career, beginnings, travel. Okay. But then when you look at this, look at that. Okay, you see that one stick there, right? But you see a snake on there too, right? This part of Lucifer plan. This ain't got nothing to do with the Most High. Okay? Even when you look at this card, the Page of Wands that came out right behind. You see, here you go again. What? One stick there, right? Come on now, how this a marriage? You see now? So many, this is probably why there's so many people struggling in their marriages. Because of those words that was already spoken. I mean, none of these cards don't line in and look nothing like nobody marriage at all. Okay, so I hope y'all really seeing what I'm saying here. Even when with our starter cards, pleasure, opposition, bounty, and then forgiveness. Now, come on now. And this supposed to be talking about something that's sacred. A covenant between you and the Most High. Most High already really showing me he ain't got no hand in that mess to be worded the way it's worded. And then not only is it worded the way it's worded, with people making it a point where you have to go and get a license. You already done tampered with the covenant by bringing in that marriage certificate. Okay, there go another loophole, disturbance in your marriage already with the paperwork. You see what I'm saying? Okay, that's why the Most High is not into a lot of marriages. That why the divorce rates are so high. Okay, people are getting into these unions for the wrong reason, and then not only are they already a lot of them getting in these marriages for pleasure, they get when they get in it for pleasure, they fall into a lot of oppositions. When they get into the opposition, now they want to get out and start out of cheating and playing around, not taking their marriage serious. But then at the end, they want forgiveness. Come on now. We're going to get ready to get off of this. Anything else you want to share here, Spirit? Okay, we have the Empress here. We have the Empress. Again, look at that. If this individual was to utilize those same type of wordings, okay, this woman going to be looking like she just like this by herself. Do you see it? So y'all see what I'm really saying more and more. Because, see, that's what was spoken. Okay, you'll become what? One. And these cards are speaking. Started from the beginning. Look at that. The two became one, right? There go an increase in what? Single parent homes. Okay, look at that. There go again. One, right? Okay. Even right here, even though the snake here, because this wasn't under the Most High plan, you still got what? One now, right? One stick. Okay, and here you go again. Look at that. One. Okay, I hope y'all see what I'm saying here. Plain as day. So, Spirit, let's close this out because you done made your point. You done made it very, very clear. Okay, you done made it very clear. Okay, and look at that. And now here go finally a masculine. But look where he at. It's still showing one. Right or wrong. Okay. There go a king. And still coming out as one. So, Spirit, how you really feel? And we finna close this out. Okay. Even with the paperwork. Okay. So, Father, how do you feel that the way that the United States and around the world, the way that many people, whether even if they want to include the states into other people's marriages, and by utilizing these particular words to bring peoples into one and all this, so Uh, what is your final take on this? And we finna end this reading. Okay, there you go. Two of Pentacles. Two of Pentacles gonna keep being juggled. Imbalance, problems, issues, moving forward through life. Okay, trying to be in harmony, but yet and still it ain't going the way that you would really expect it for what a sacred union to be. Because there's really had a lot and studies is can prove this right here. This here is they got enough studies been done on marriages, especially in the United States, that just like this right here. Okay, so Father, we just thank you. Okay, we thank you, Father. And so we're going to end this. I just wanted to just really look a little bit more into what I know me and my father was talking about last night, how that really didn't make any sense. And this reading itself, it really only showed how the world don't really take the sacredness of marriage serious. Okay, because see, by you just even going out to get that marriage license, okay, you already done contaminated your marriage. Okay, even before you say I do, the marriage is already contaminated, because now you don't put in a third party in the midst of your union that's supposed to be sacred. Okay, and anybody know anything when it comes to certain entities? Spirit don't want us to be in the midst of a lot of things. Okay, all right, some things he want us to come from underneath of. Okay, all right, so we're gonna leave it there, and we're gonna end up today's Sabbath day with just a general message. Talk to you later.